Go ahead.
Mr. Sauer, you began by explaining why you believe that immunity from criminal prosecution is essential for the proper functioning of the presidency. But my question is whether the very robust form of immunity that you're advocating is really necessary in order to achieve that result. So just to take one possible alternative, suppose the rule were that a former president cannot be prosecuted for official acts unless no plausible justification could be imagined for what the president did, taking into account history and legal precedent and the information that was provided to the president at the time when the act was taken. Would that be sufficient, or if it is insufficient, why would it be insufficient?
That might be a much better rule than what emerged from the lower courts here. We think it would be insufficient because, again, that long line of cases talking about using the president's motives and the intrusive consideration of the president's motives as transforming acts to official and unofficial would come into play. And of course, once you can make that allegation, all of a sudden you've opened the door. You no longer have a per se clear bright line rule. You have a determination in every single case.
Well, what if it were not? What if it did not involve any subjective element? It was purely objective. You would look objectively at the various relevant factors.
That sounds to me a lot like Blazing Game, and especially viewed through the lens of Judge Katz's separate opinion, and that may not be different than what we're proposing to the court today.
Well, Blazing Game had to do with the difference between official conduct and private conduct, right?
That's correct. I understood the court to be asking that.
No, this would apply, and just a possibility. I don't know whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, or whether it can be derived from the structure of the Constitution or the vesting clause or any other source. But this would be applied in a on purely objective grounds when the president invokes an official power in taking the action that is at issue.
Yes, I believe the reason I think of Blazing Game is because it talks about an objective, context-specific determination to winnow out what's official and what is purely private conduct. And again, with a strong degree of deference to what
I'm sorry.